Well, John said he goes into further detail about why it's really taking place. So people are like, why is the world like turned to crap? Why is there so many wars taking place? He explains why exactly it's taking place. He basically goes into more detail about the American government in particular, how it manipulates third world powers.
I have my opinions on America.
Like you know why it's so powerful from him, because he was part of the CIA, then he left the CIA. So it's a big testimony that he releases. So a lot of people, again, YouTube, no one really wants you to know about him, but he's there. So you guys both have this, right?
Yeah, I don't have
You don't have it. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before you head off, we are authentically an Islamic table. But since this genocide kicked in, we find it an obligation upon ourselves to basically raise awareness about Palestine, because every single day, it's not just like Hamas that's being killed; it's innocent people that are being killed, right? So, Islam has no issue against I'm not supportive of Hamas, number one, right? But Islam has no issue against fighting on and on, right? Like fair and square. Where it is a problem is now is if you start doing injustice and you now start using you start using women and children as collective punishment. It doesn't make sense, from a human perspective. Also from a justice perspective, it's wrong according to international law, right? So that's why the leads was good. But we are authentically Islamic table, right? So before this was taking place, this flag wasn't here, unfortunately. And we're just giving out free information about Islam. Do you know anything about Islam?
Just the little bits that schools taught us when probably all Christian schools.
Okay. This is a very interactive table. So I would like to know, how do you think the universe came about?
I don't believe in any of that. I obviously know the Bible and stuff. That's like a big metaphor.
Yeah.
But it came about. I live in this. I live out now.
Fair enough. But some people will say the Big Bang. Some people will say God created the universe, etc., etc. The Bible says how God created it in 6 days, whatever, and He rested on the seventh, right? From the Islamic perspective, a lot of people don't know. We don't necessarily reject the idea of a Big Bang. There's a verse in the Quran that's very explicit. It says that the universe and the earth were a joint entity, then we separated them and created from water every living thing. Right? So, a Big Bang is basically energy matter compression into a singularity, then a rapid expansion. Right? So this idea, and then there's another verse in the Quran that says that we are the expander of the universe. So way before any kind of technology was known to research about physics, etc., etc., and know anything like a Big Bang theory, the Quran was already talking along the lines of something like that. If that makes sense, right? So we don't necessarily reject that idea, but what we do reject is that the universe just came on its own, right? So if somebody says the Big Bang happened, okay, no problem, I have no issue with that. Then where did that energy matter come from? Does that make sense, right? And I like to keep it simple. If I give you a glass of nothing, sprinkle nothing into a glass of nothing, pour nothing into a glass of nothing, chop nothing into a glass of nothing, what do you have a glass of? Nothing, right? From a scientific perspective, from a logical perspective, it's impossible to get something from nothing. Does that make sense, right? So we're very good at learning the intrinsic details of different processes. But what, the beginning of something, right? We tend to, let's say, skip on it, right? And because science doesn't have the ability to answer that question, we feel like, oh, it's irrelevant, right? But it's an important question, right? Because then from there we can actually find out, is there a purpose to life? Is there not? What's morality? What's right? What's wrong? Who is qualified to tell us what's right, what's wrong? Does that make sense? Is it the British government? Is it the American government? Is it the Russian government? Right? Who's qualified to tell us what's right and what's wrong? In my personal opinion, humans will always make mistakes. Right? So we believe that there was one creator. That's not a man or a woman or a tree or an animal. Right? A creator that we don't know what it looks like, but it has certain attributes like infinitely powerful, infinitely knowing, infinitely wise, infinitely capable, right? Knows the past, present, and future. Isn't a male or a she, right? Above the creation, nothing like the creation, right? And doesn't rely on anything, independent in its essence. That's Islam. And everything in Islam revolves around this idea of monotheism. Monotheism means mono means one in Latin. This one poses a bit more. Do you have any questions about what I said?
No, very
These are both, yes.
Because I know you're in Russia, it's really, really cold. This is simply just like a miracle of God. I don't want to take too much of your time.
There you go. Right. And one more question to ask.
Have a nice day. You too.
Have ever had the opportunity to think about the purpose of life?
Yeah, I'm autistic, so constant.
Okay. What type of autism do you have?
ASD.
ADHD.
ADHD, a lot of it. It's just like a bit less about amount.
Okay. I think you're doing very well if you have autism. my brother,
eye contact and everything. I'm going.
My brother has autism. He struggles with eye contact, right? So I mean, you're doing pretty well. Right? But when it comes to for example, some people say that there's no purpose of life, and if you're trying to chase a purpose of life, you're wasting your time, right? So there's some philosophers that say that. Some people have said that there is a purpose of life. So if there's two opinions, then it makes sense to see who's right, who's wrong, right?
Yeah.
Right. And from the Islamic perspective, we're never asked to just believe something for the sake of it. Even what I've told you today, if I was you, I'd go home, I'd research it, be critical about it. Just don't take my word for it. Do your own research about it, right? Because our faith isn't just about blind faith. It's just not like have faith and that's it. It's about using your knowledge and wisdom and then coming to a conclusion, right? And if the evidence lies one place, then you apply it. You don't just apply blind faith, right? So these booklets will go into more detail about census things. We are giving free copies of the Quran, right? We're giving it to everybody, right? We have big and small copies. Would you like one? Okay. There's a program. We're not from Blackburn, we're from Bury. So there's a program that we hold as well. If you want to attend and learn more about Islam or what's taking place in Palestine as well, feel free to attend. Every Saturday you have any questions, what happens?
Thank you.